Segment three, Gold and Black Live, joined by Tom Dienhart. Needs no introduction, but he is our football. He's an icon in the media business, but we're lucky to have him as our football guy for goldandblack.com. And I know we've spent about every waking moment thinking about the Final Four, but there has been some football going on, an important football in terms of spring practice for Coach Ryan Walters in his second year and second spring practice too. But Tom, I still, because you've been watching Purdue basketball a long time, and we're around. Well, you were around pretty young, the '69 Final Four, the '80 Final Four. You were certainly of age to know what was going on. But just your thoughts as we
Yeah.
go into what will be. It could be a great weekend, and I'm out in Phoenix. There are a lot of Purdue people out here, and that's exciting as well. The whole ticket prices are going up. But give me your thoughts. You've been watching a lot of Purdue basketball this year. What do you think we see on Saturday when Purdue takes on North Carolina State?
Yeah, it's probably a lot like when you went out to the Rose Bowl. Remember
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the
Same deal.
long, the thirst for Pasadena to get out to that Southern California New Year's Day sunshine for Boilermaker fans. And boy, a great turnout that day. So I bet you Phoenix is gonna have a lot of that same type of vibe here, or already does. Yeah, I was a freshman in high school in the 79-80 season, and we had great memories, Alan. I like you grew up here and went to these games as a kid. We had season tickets, of course, and we've talked about that Syracuse game that year on national
Yeah.
TV. Just the memories of Joe Barry Carroll and Arnie Hallman and watching Larry Bird the year before. Just a lot of fun and a great team that year. Brian Walker. I go on and on. Drake Morris. I actually go on YouTube sometimes, Alan, and they've got some of those games.
Oh yeah. They're fun to watch.
I can watch.
Joe
So
Barry Carroll, our
Joe,
first segment guest too, by the way. I
okay.
just yeah. So it was a lot of fun talking
Joe
to him.
Payton doing the game. So
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, I'm it's been a fun ride. And boy, I tell you what, Alan, dealing with expectations and pressure,
Yeah.
it's hard to do. It's easy to be the underdog to sneak up on people, but man, what Purdue had on its back this year, how it's continued to deliver has been very impressive.
Yeah, it was interesting that by the time this airs on Friday afternoon, there'll be the shoot around, and I think Purdue will be shooting around in the State Farm Stadium. They're
Mhm.
talking about 35,000 people, and Purdue has caused the market to go up. It is you hit the nail on the head. It does, even
Yeah,
though it's very spread out here, as you know, like
yeah,
Pasadena, you're gonna find your people in general meeting places, but
yeah.
there are going to be a lot of them, and that part of it is going to be a lot of fun, I think, for to say the least, for Purdue fans.
Mhm.
You talked, obviously in your football coverage this week, Ryan Walters had some comments, interesting ones that I think kind of tie into not only Purdue's Final Four run and all the hoopla surrounding that, but Ryan, what was your take on just his comments about, hey, why not us? If
Yeah.
basketball, if that's the expectation here, that's the expectation for football. What did you take from that?
Yeah. Yeah. You sort of summarized in brief what he said or what his message was. You're right. You know, uh, just the momentum also out that it creates in the entire athletic department, if not the university. I mean, I don't want to overemphasize the importance of sports, but I can't remember who said it, Nick Saban or somebody, I'm sure before him, that athletics is the front porch of your university. That's the only thing a lot of people know about universities or their athletic department. So I think it sort of does have a lifting effect, at least psychologically,
Yeah,
for people associated with the school. And athletically, I'm sure there's some momentum across the board for everybody, the golf team, the volleyball team,
yeah,
football, whatever, just to know that, yeah, Purdue University, Allen, you can win at a high level.
yeah.
You have the resources to win at a high level. So I think that message, if I was a coach, like I said, the tennis team, that would lift my spirits and give me something more to sell on the recruiting trail too.
Yeah, I think so. It is, and you're a student of sports media. Crazy how much pub is just. I mean, and just goes on. When you make the Final Four, they're talking about you. They're talking about Zach Edey every minute. I mean, they have Radio Row today or on Thursday, I should say, at State Farm Arena, etc. I mean, it's just crazy what that can mean for a lot of things, but that media coverage is it's hard to put a price tag on, really, because it's been just wall to wall, it seems. Everybody's talking about not just Purdue, but the Final Four, but Zach Edey. I mean, can't stop talking about Zach. Most of it, some of it good, some of it a little bit, as Brian Newbert has talked about, a little bit harsh on that whole notion, but it has been interesting.
This is the big stage, man.
Yeah.
This is the Super Bowl. And yeah, like you pointed out, the media scrutiny and the media coverage obviously just explodes at this level. And I'm sure Purdue fans are tickled pink
Yeah.
to see this. You know, I'm a guy who consumes a lot of YouTube, and I'll watch the Rich Eisen show and different segments. And there's Matt Painter on all these different shows, and there's all these shows are talking about Zach Edey, and on it goes. And so yeah, the exposure, the national interest in Purdue, especially Zach Edey. I think more people obviously are getting introduced to him in his game. I saw LeBron James even has had a little shout out as well. So this touches every corner of America, if not the world. And it's like I said, just good for Purdue to get out there. And boy, I tell you what, Alex, I don't want to be a guy who always brings up the morbid past, but my goodness, to finally see Purdue get his ticket punched. You know, we talked about 1988, talk about 1994, we talk about 1998, we talk about 2000, talk about 2017. I mean, I know there's a lot of other good programs that have never reached this holy grail, but boy, Purdue's been among the best to have not done it in a long time. So just a big sigh of relief for a lot of fans to see him finally do it again. What's it been, 44 years, I think?
Yeah, 44 years, but who's counting? All right,
Yeah.
Hudson Card talked on Thursday. Obviously, he is the focal point of this football team at quarterback. Talked about getting bigger and better. That storyline and any other things that have been going on this week that's kind of you know, I know you have some limitations in terms of how much time you're in practice, but how any other storylines that we ought to know about with spring ball at this point?
Yeah, you know, Hudson's gotten bigger. Ryan Walters talked about that in the first time we spoke to him in spring football. About 212 pounds now, I think. He got beat up last year. He got
Yes, he
ragdolled.
did.
He was really hurting in November. Of course, he missed the game at Northwestern. It got so bad. I think we know he's tough. And so, yeah, that's one storyline. And we don't get a chance to watch much of these practices, Alan. 4, 5, 6 periods at the most. So guys are just going through drills. They're stretching, going through some individual stuff. Quarterback, you know, the quarterback behind Hudson Card, that's a storyline to watch. Who's going to be the number 2 guy? I think it's going to come down, from what I can tell, Ryan Brown and maybe the true freshman Marcos Davila. Maybe I think those 2 guys. I think Bennett Meredith may have slid back a little bit. The offensive line's much bigger, Alan. It's much deeper. I think you're going to see maybe 2 portal guys start this year. One at right, one at left tackle, one at right guard. Corey Stewart and DJ Wingfield. Who's going to be the rush ends? It's a big storyline. Of course, Nick Scorton's gone. Kydron Jenkins, his sidekick, is now an inside linebacker, Alan. So Will Helt, this may be the year Will Helt really steps out and becomes a superstar off the edge for Purdue. How is Kydron Jenkins going to do at inside linebacker? I think we're going to still see him, Alan, line up to rush the passer on passing downs, but still, he's a special player now. He's at a new position, though. And then the defensive secondary. I think they really like a couple of these cornerbacks. Nyland Green from Georgia, I think he has a good shot to start. And Kendricks Breedlove from Colorado is another guy they like a lot. So a lot of new faces, Alan. You're going to have to get your roster and keep it right by your lazy boy this year. Learn these names, learn these players. They've really flipped it once again. I think there's 14 portal guys here. So they're trying the best they can to try to continue to inject more talent into that roster.
Well, it's interesting too, and maybe going back to the basketball notion, which ties into to football in terms of portal guys from mid majors and others. Now, and I don't know, it's interesting. I'm interested in your opinion on football versus basketball. Obviously, we've got Grant Nelson at Alabama. We saw certainly excellent play out of guys, and of course Lance Jones at Purdue. And we're talking basketball here, and as well, and what we saw from Tennessee's guys as well. It's a huge part. Does that translate to football? I mean, Purdue's got a lot of guys there's some mid majors in there, are some guys that don't come from huge programs. There are some guys that do, but do you think there's any correlation there from that? Is it different in football? Is my
Yeah, I think
question.
these guys, I mean, basketball, just so many fewer guys,
Yeah.
Easy for one guy to really stand out. And Dalton Connect, my
Dalton
goodness,
Connect, right? From
what a
Tennessee.
story. If you
He
look at
was
it,
that guy from Tennessee I was
oh my
talking about.
goodness. But
Yes, you
yeah,
bet.
Purdue's got the guys from Georgia. I think again, the wide receiver, CJ Smith, I think everybody tells me, he's Ron Walter says he's Olympic fast.
Yeah.
He was a state 100-meter champ in Florida. And I guess he can catch the ball too, Alan. So
Good
again,
idea.
that's a guy from Georgia, CJ Smith. That's a guy you got to watch. And CJ Madden, another guy named CJ. CJ Madden's from Georgia. He's a rush end. He may be the guy who starts opposite Will Helt. So they got some big school guys that have come in, but the one tackle guy, Alan, the one guy that may start at left offensive tackle is a kid from Ball State named
Yeah.
Floyd Stewart, who's a big kid from Nashville. I started a lot of games at the MAC, was a first team all MAC guy. He may end up being their best portal guy of all, playing that key left tackle spot. So yeah, it's going to be fun watching these guys get developed and to work in, Alan. Now, Friday's practice number 10, and they only have 15 of these practices. Then we'll have the spring game April 13th. It's going to be live on BTN at noon. And then, Alan, after that spring game, the next week, they're still going to have 2 more practices.
You're going to have 2 now, right?
Yeah,
Did that change because it was only 1?
No, it was always like that on the schedule, but
okay.
It's not unusual to see a team play its spring game, then come back and still have a couple more practices. So that's where they're at right now. They're over halfway through spring football, if you can believe it already. So still a lot of questions to answer. We haven't talked about special teams. And don't forget too, Alan, in April, the portal opens up for 15 days. So you're going to see some Boilermakers, I think, leave. And I think Purdue's probably going to bring in maybe 4 to 5 more guys. I think for sure you're going to see a punter. You get punters coming in for sure. You may see another tight end, maybe a safety. So you just be mindful of that. I think it's not going to be wholesale changes, but you're going to see 4 or 5 guys leave, maybe 4 or 5 guys be brought in here in April.
Yeah, well said. All right, my vision, very clear. Purdue wins the national championship in basketball. They have the spring game on the 13th, and they have the celebration. Tom Dienhart is the host. I think we're good.
Would they have
Alan,
someone's talking, they wouldn't have a parade, would they?
Oh, I think they would have. I'm going to guess. And of course, there's going to be watch parties on Saturday in Mackey for basketball and at the Union, I believe. I'm going to guess that they will take the model kind of like what Michigan did for football. They did a big thing at the Chrysler Center, and televised it. I know BTN televised it. It's a good problem to have if you're a Purdue fan, but I don't know that they'd have a parade, but they will definitely have a major league event. I know when the women won way back in 1999, they had a big event in Mackey Arena, and 10,000 people show up. So I don't know that Mackey Arena will be big enough.
Yeah, and they're doing Ross-A.
But then again, I think Michigan, I don't know if Michigan put 12, 13,000 in there for theirs, but I would think that date, because if you win it on Monday, it takes some time. You want to get people there.
Yeah.
Who knows? I know West Side, when you won 3 state championships, they always took you around on the fire truck.
The fire truck.
I could see Zach Edey on the fire truck, a gold and black fire truck, I should say, going around West Lafayette. But that would be a good problem to have. How
about doing it at the Slater Hill there? That'd be perfect.
That would be good too. If you could ever get the weather warm, I know I'm the one I'm sitting out in 85-degree weather. It's perfect out here, and it's not so good right now in West Lafayette. Though I hear it's going to get better. So that part's going to be good. But we'll look forward to your work next week as well. Look forward to the spring game. Kick for that game is at noon.
Yeah, noon on BTN. It was going to be showed on tape delayed, but Fox is now going to show Ohio State at noon, so that allowed Purdue's game to be shown live. So save the date, Alan. So and we'll keep the lights on for you back here in West Lafayette, man.
I appreciate that. And the Purdue Challenge 5K, don't forget about that. We're going to try to slog our way through that on that morning. The 5K, which starts it starts at the or at the Purdue Mall. And if you want some more information at PurdueChallenge.com. All right, Mr. Dienhart, thanks so much. Thanks for keeping the home fires burning. And you do a lot of good work with basketball too. You help us out with those great Chad Crockover photos.
Yes,
and we appreciate that too. He's done great work out here.
I think Chad drove out there.
And I think Chad is everybody around Purdue's excited, but he might be the most.
Oh, yeah.
I got a text from him on Thursday when he got here. He said, I'm in Phoenix." And that's awesome. There's going to be a lot of people out here for that, and you hope if you're a Purdue fan, you can get to Monday night and let the chips fall where they may.
Remember
But
this.
it's going to be.
Hey, here's something. I'm here. I was at the national title game in Arizona, Alan, 2002, Miami against Ohio State.
Yes,
Everybody said Ohio State's got no shot, Alan. They got
that's
no
right.
shot. We know what happened, right?
Yeah. Purdue's got a shot.
Yeah.
They got to take care of business Saturday, but I still haven't found anybody yet to solve Zach Edey. That will be a fun thing to watch. But again, let's just hope if you're a Purdue watcher, and if you probably are, if you're watching this show, you want to see that happen. So, all right, Tom, thanks so much. Again, I want to thank also our good sponsors for this year. State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. We are grateful for them. Also, the Triple X on the hill, but on the level, a Purdue tradition since 1929. Tom Dienhart gets that good root beer freeze
With ice cream whipped in it, man.
Oh God, killer! It's great stuff. We enjoyed that. We've enjoyed their sponsorship and thankful for them. It's another year. I think this is year 15 of Golden Black Live, and we're winding it up. But we appreciate that, and also, of course, Gordon Jackson and Mary Truex, all the folks at WLFI that helped make this happen. We're thankful for them too. So we will be back. Well, let's see. That opening day is August 31st for Indiana State Purdue football. We'll probably have a show on the 30th, and look forward to that as well. So, and we don't want to wish our time away, but especially when you had a Final Four coming ahead, but it'll be here before you know. So thanks everybody for watching and listening to our Golden Black Live, and we'll have a lot more down the line. Not only this with podcasts, we'll keep with our Saturday simulcast throughout as well. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll look forward to what could be a very, very special weekend in Purdue sports.